Welcome to the daily briefing from interest.co.nz. I'm David Chaston. Today we look at October real estate sales. We start with a review of the median price data, look at the all-important volume data, and the time it's taking to sell a property. We'll also update the latest changes to term deposit rates and review what the other media are reporting. The Real Estate Institute house price data is out for October, and QV has also released similar data. The QV data is an average for the 3 months to October, whereas the REINZ data is for October only. The REINZ data gives a much more up-to-date picture, and that is the one we want to focus on today. The national median price slipped slightly from the record set in September and is now $350,000. But for most urban areas, the high point was way back in April. Auckland's median price has declined 2% since April, as has Canterbury's. Wellington's high was in May, and prices there have fallen more than 5% since then. We also look at first quartile prices as part of our home loan affordability series. This data shows similar stability over the past 6 months, but with prices generally holding steadier in this section of the market. Regionally, in both the first home buyer and the standard markets, Hawke's Bay, Wellington and Southland are where the big price declines are happening. First home buyer prices are holding up best in Taranaki and Canterbury, and standard home prices are holding up best in Waikato and the Bay of Plenty, and in the Nelson Marlborough region. ANZ's 8.9% term deposit offer has been matched this week by most other banks. ASB, Bank Direct and Kiwibank have upped their offers to that level, although BNZ and Westpac have yet to move. The National Bank has that 8.9% offer for an 18-month term. These bank term deposit offers are very high indeed. Not only will they put pressure on their non-bank competitors, they are attractive for investors in other types of investments, especially managed funds. Remember, term deposit returns are fee-free, and with inflation running at 1.8%, they offer a real return of over 7%. When the first KiwiSaver fund reports are out, there will be questions asked if they do not return at least the bank term deposit rate. Fund managers have been set a very high standard to achieve, and as some commentators have pointed out, their track records are not always that flash. The big real estate news for September was the dramatic decline in the number of houses being sold. But sales volumes recovered only slightly in October, and while there's been a lift in sales activity of about 1,000 transactions, this measure is still down 22% on the same month last year, and that is a very big drop indeed. In the Auckland market, realtors are now telling sellers to lower their price expectations. Auckland volumes fell more than 25%, Canterbury volumes fell more than 29%, and Northland volumes were down more than 30%. Buyers have had the option of holding their properties off the market, but there's no real evidence this is happening yet, at least in some of the major urban markets. So we are starting to see a rise in the time it takes to sell a property. This average period has grown from 28 days in April, the lowest in 2007, to 34 days in October. In the urban markets, it was still low, however. 31 days in Auckland, 28 days in Wellington, and 32 days in Canterbury. But it is rising fast in regional markets. October is the start of the spring selling season, and the best you could say it has gotten off to a slow start. We don't expect a strong pickup from here, and in future months we expect softer prices and longer selling times. CBS Canterbury reports that significant business growth has resulted in a 50% increase in their pre-tax net operating surplus for the 6 months ended 30 September 2007. Finance Minister Michael Cullen is keen to keep KiwiSaver an optional scheme. If compulsion was to be introduced, he said, we would have to think about income testing New Zealand super. He didn't say why. His other concern was that the government does not want to be held liable for poor performance from KiwiSaver funds. The perils of posting out unsolicited and pre-activated platinum credit cards have been brought home to the ANZ when it's launched a new card in July. You can get more news and start with Newsmaker Views on our news page. Join us again tomorrow for the freshest finance news on the web. We'll see you then.